What's good, party people? This is According to Woods, and I have the honor and privilege of talking to a good brother. He is a former King of the Cage champion, a self-defense expert, as told to you by his viral videos, and he is the owner and operator of 101 Boxing and Fitness in Newbury Park, California. He is Thor the Hammer Skanke. Thor, what's going on?
Oh, sorry, I didn't see you there, buddy. How you doing?
Doing good, man. The whole getup. I want to say that you're maybe not in California. You might have traveled to maybe a Nome, Alaska.
And we got some rain today over here, so it doesn't happen very often, and when it does, we take advantage of it. Can you see me? Am I in the frame correctly? Am I good?
You're good. You're absolutely good. Yeah. Yeah. Are you gonna Madonna Vogue?
A little bit.
Yeah, man. I love it. I fucking love it. But one of the many things that I love about you, we were kind of talking off air, is you've diversified. When you were fighting, you would cut promos. You would do things that I would say 65% of fighters don't do because they focus on just the fight itself. But when you're kind of coming up, even if you're on the lower tier end of the UFC and Bellators, you're working a regular job to kind of funnel into your fight career. But you have always found a way to kind of diversify your portfolio.
Absolutely. I mean, I guess you could call it diversifying portfolio, but I think I really enjoy the whole thing. I think some fighters are just athletes, and I think I wasn't really an athlete. I think I was like an actor and a clown first, you know what I mean, basically. And then I kind of but I could fight. So I think maybe I had an advantage in that way. But I like to speak in front of people, I like to do skits.
Yeah.
I used to do like weird little backyard wrestling videos before I got into fighting. That's probably what got me into it. But yeah, no, I really like it. A lot of fighters don't like it. I think they get like a...
Yeah, and that's the thing that I find, right? When you get everybody into, combat sports or what have you, there's different personalities. There are some people that, obviously they're trying to better their health or might want a career in it, but then there's like assholes that just want to punk people at the bar. There's a lot of different kind of functionalities, and so to it, when you're actively fighting, there are the stellar athletes or the people that become athletes and just want to do that and just want to promote their fight. It's almost I heard of Julia Roberts doing this when she's promoting a movie. She's like all smiles and America's sweetheart, and she cannot be bothered if she's not promoting a movie.
Yeah. Julia Roberts is she was pretty hot. I mean, she's old now. Older. We all get old, Yeah,
we all get older, as evidence. And you kind of did like a Jedi mind trick on me because you sent me the older picture of you, and I didn't see that it had a face swap. And that's what I used for this. And I was like, bro, the fucking gray hair looks so good on you, and what have you.
Life comes at you fast, man. One day when I started fighting, I was like 23. That's when I had my first pro fight. I'm 38 now. And, I still consider myself the future of combat sports. I probably have like a good 10 years to go, but, faster, stronger than I've ever been, which is just, not normal for a lot of people. But, yeah, life comes at you fast, man. And, if you don't stop to look around every once in a while, you miss it for sure.
No, 100%. Which, I mean, you said a good 10 years. I mean, I was there for both retirement fights.
A lot of, retired twice, right?
You're right. Are you the Terry Funk of MMA? Because in the first retirement at CXF, now Lights Out Extreme Fighting, we kind of did a promo with our good friend, the War Master Josh Barnett, who just had Josh Barnett's Bloodsport last night. Shout out to Josh. But you being the Vern Gagne of MMA, where you retire on top. But are you reverting not to Vern Gagne, but no Terry Funk, and we're gonna have 72 Thor Skanke retirements?
Well, I've only lost to one guy in like the past 5 years, more than that. And it's I'm not going to, like, I don't want to go out on top. I want someone to beat me and show me that I can't do it anymore. And it's a weird thing. Like, there's a lot of people like, what are you talking about? You want to go out on top. Like, I see people like Donald Cerrone, they're going to fight until they get a dub, and it's like, I don't understand that, because if you can win, then keep fighting. If you lose, then it's time. Like, I kind of like the Japanese way of looking at it. I mean, I got into fighting because of like watching guys like Sakuraba. Yes. He fought until shit started falling off, and his ear fell off. And then he kind of was like, all right, maybe I should just call it a day. And it's like, like, I guess it's cool to, go out on a W, like I won I won both retirement fights. And it's like, I don't know, man. Is that cowardice? Is that like, what am I, it's just like, you get put on this earth and you got like a short amount of time to live, and an even shorter amount of time to do what you love,
right?
And be able to do it. And, why not fight until someone beats me? Like, I still go out there and I spar with these kids and these youngsters getting ready for these fights. And I'm like, I still got it,
Yeah.
I still got it, so I just got to get back in shape and take another fight.
I love that, and also you gave me a little bit of clarity, because for those who watch wrestling or even don't watch wrestling, the Undertaker, he had the Last Ride documentary, and he was saying, like, he was basically going until the wheels fallen off and he couldn't perform. He didn't want to be a novelty act, right? And he needed somebody to kind of pass the torch to. And I really didn't understand it, because I don't know the psyche of the Undertaker. Hell, I was scared of that motherfucker pretty much almost my entire life. Like, when the gong hit and the Paul Bear shrill would happen, I'd run to the bathroom and stay until the next segment happened. So, but I don't know Taker, right? But I know you. So with your mentality, it makes sense. It's like that Bushido of going out on your sword, on your sword, I should say.
On my shield, yeah.
Shield, yeah.
Yeah, man. I just, you got to do soul searching and stuff. But there's an old saying. It goes, the hard headed, you got to feel it to believe it. And I'm not just gonna let people tell me I'm done. If I would have listened to people, I never would have got into fighting in the first place. People tell you can't do it anymore. It's like, okay, like, I get it. It's coming from it's not coming from a place of hate or it's coming from a place of like concern, because you're 38 years old. But the fact of the matter is, I know myself. I know I can still do it, and I have to. Someone has to show me that I can't do it before I just give up. And I look at it like, if Bernard Hopkins can do it, I can fucking do it. If you look at what did they do? Andre Arlovsky, there we go.
Yeah.
He can do it. I can do it. Maybe you have to fight at a little bit higher weight class. Things change. It gets harder to make weight when you're in your 30s, right? It's like, I try to tell people, it's a lot like a hangover. When you're in your early 20s, you drink, you wake up the next morning, you go to work, right? And when you get to be in your 30s, you start realizing, like, damn, like, these hangovers hit a lot harder. And it's like, well, what is a hangover? It's basically being dehydrated, correct? Right. And being dehydrated, well, that's like cutting weight. So people feel like shit the next day after they cut weight. It's almost akin to an extreme hangover. So I just look at like older dudes, maybe should fight at a little bit of a heavier weight. And then, there's different things, like, you change your game a little bit, you get injuries, you have to change your game, but it doesn't mean that you're actually a worse fighter than you used to be. In a lot of ways, you're better, because I think fighting is 100% mental, and mentally, I think I'm in the best place that I've ever been. I think I have more technique. I think I'm more of a calm, cool, collected killer than I ever have been in my youth. So, I would trade some physical disabilities for mental advantage on any day of the week, and twice on Sunday.
That's great. I mean, and you mentioned Sakuraba, right? Because this is a guy that's still going in combat sports to this day, right? And funny enough, crazy enough, did you know that Sakuraba never won other than his Saku belt, never won a title in combat sports until the one he currently has, and that is the All Japan Pro Wrestling Tag Team Championship. He's one half of the tag team champions for All Japan Pro Wrestling, but he never had a linear belt. But
Yeah,
he's a
fucking,
legend. Yeah.
fucking bullshit. It's a shame. The Saku belt wasn't really, it was just basically an homage to the man. But I mean, if you watch that first Pride Grand Prix, like everyone had like normal matches, and then he had a fucking 2-hour fight with Hoist Gracie, and then he goes
Yes.
out and he fights fucking Igor Vochanchin, which basically came in second place, and Vochanchin was a monster at that time. It's I think he could have won the whole thing.
Yeah.
But also, he wasn't a huge guy, and this was a time when it was, giants and there's no steroid testing or anything like that.
Right.
But yeah, definitely my favorite fighter of all time, and I think it's a shame that he never really won a championship. He kind of, he kept trying to run it back with Vanderlei Silva. Some guys just have your number,
Mm-hmm.
and Vanderlei just, I don't know, they fought 3 times for no reason. I think after the second one, they should have just said, okay, this guy, this guy beat you, dude. But the second one, he broke his collarbone, and
Yeah. Well, it's kind of funny too, because I also thought about it in terms of context, right? He didn't have the weight class. He went up, down, wherever the hell. He just wanted to fucking fight and show his skill, taught to him by Billy Robinson and all of his trainers, to the prevalence of catch wrestling. Even then, there was that kind of the marketing that Gracie Jiu-Jitsu is the only type of submission grappling that you could do. And he was kind of, it was Saku and it was Suzuki and Minoru Suzuki and Barnett kind of, as this next wave of catch wrestlers, we were like, no, it's not the only thing.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Which, by the way, I mean, obviously you have your gym, 101 Boxing, right, in Newbury Park.
Yes, sir.
But, I mean, as you ready yourself to potentially a new challenge that lay ahead of you in a ring or an octagon, I mean, are you grappling as well, or?
Yeah, so I grapple. I go to Gracie Baja. I train with Edwin Najmi. He's an amazing coach. And, they kick my ass every day over there, but I feel like I've leveled up a lot in jiu-jitsu. That's pretty much what I do. And then, I work my boxing and my Muay Thai at my gym. And, yeah, really, just falling in love with the sport again. I started getting some kids ready for their fight on the 30th at LXF, Lights Out Fighting.
Yeah.
And, I'm sparring with them. And, they basically pulled me back in. Because now, I'm out here sparring with these kids that are young and in their primes. And got me the itch again, too, So I'm getting... as a byproduct of training these guys, I'm actually getting in shape, and I think I wouldn't be surprised if maybe I ended up picking an LXF title in the near future. Who knows?
Why the hell not? And it's funny because even in its previous incarnation of CXF, which you are an alumnus of, I always say, oh, they can't top this card. They can't top this card. And then, obviously rebranding into LXF. And this card on the 30th, live on Fubo or the Burbank Marriott and Convention Center, which I do believe might be sold out as we speak here. But holy hell, it is a fucking banger.
Yeah, it's a banger.
And unfortunately we did, we lost the fight in I believe it was Rick Salada's fight. Was that the one that fell off?
Well, I know that one of my students, David Roberts, his fight fell off. He hurt his shoulder pretty bad. It was a
Ooh,
nasty injury. But he'll be back on the December card, December 11th, I believe. But yeah, that sucked because he trained his ass off for that fight. And yeah, I don't know exactly who's on the card. I'm honestly, I'm just training my guys. I haven't
that
really had a lot of time to pay attention to exactly who's fighting. I think, yeah, I have no idea
I,
what's going on.
well, for the lights out bantamweight title, the 135-pound title, I think this is. I mean, this is a big name fight. It's Victor Henry, former deep
Yeah,
bantamweight champion, against the current lights out bantamweight champion Albert Warrior, the Belizean Warrior Morales. So like that, I would put that on a UFC fight night or a Bellator anything anywhere. That's a high level fight with high
those
level
are
stakes.
those are two of my favorite fighters that are local
Yes.
guys, and I really love Albert. He's a great dude, and Victor too, man.
Yeah.
They're awesome. They're super entertaining. They're super good spirited people. They're respectful. They have samurai spirit. They're
Yeah.
awesome.
Hell yes. Well, you mentioned one Dave Roberts, and that guy is almost like the real life like Bob Sparkplug Harley from the old WWF days, where he's a race car driver and a fighter. Like
Yeah,
he does so many things
got a lot of things.
very well.
Right now, he's in the NFT market. He's selling a lot of non fungible tokens, and he's working with cyber art, non fungible cyber art, and selling monkeys and bananas and whatever those things are called. I don't know. I really don't understand it. I try to pretend like I do. I think I'm too old, man. I don't know. These kids with their, you know, I got into the Bitcoin game. I started once I figured that out. Then all of a sudden they're like, "Yeah, bro, it's digital art, man.
Yeah.
I'll sell you this 16-bit monkey." I'm like, "What the fuck are you guys talking about, dude?" Like, but that's pretty much what he's really been into. So he's actually got like 3 hats on at the time. Really
Jesus.
good kid, super smart kid, man. If you ever have a chance
Yeah.
to talk to him, he's a very intelligent person. And yeah, I love training the guy, man. He's a great dude.
And a great promo. Like he almost reminds me of Piacina La Lobo or Voodoo Maximus in the old U of MMA days, or you yourself. My goodness, you would cut some promos, and I'd be like, "Damn, Vince! Like,
Yeah.
you take this guy. Like, what are you doing?" He's super like articulate, but like the fan base that comes out for him are just like some of the most fervent and passionate fans that we have in Southern California and beyond.
The apple doesn't fall too far from the tree, my friend.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Which I mean, weren't you? Did you have your last couple sets of tights made by Delphia?
Defila, yeah, Isla, she, yeah, she's amazing, dude. She, yeah, like last 5 fights she's been doing my tights, and she works for the WWE. I always call it WWF. I don't know,
Yeah.
but yeah, she works for the WWE and Invicta, and yeah, I wouldn't get my shorts made anywhere else because she understands what I like, and I'm a showman first. I love to fight, but I like to put on a show, and I think the show starts with how you look. You know what I mean? And yeah, it's super important that she has me looking right and tight for my fights. And she
Yeah.
also makes David's shorts. She's awesome.
That's sick. No, that's absolutely sick. Shout out to her. Now, you mentioned, calling the WWE really the WWF. So let talk to me. I mean, you were a fan growing up. Who were some
Oh
of your
yeah,
favorites?
yeah, a huge fan. Not even like a small. I was a huge fan. I wanted to be a wrestler. Um, but I stopped watching after a while. I don't know. I think right around the time when they changed to WWE, I stopped watching. I was like a fan of the Attitude Era,
Yeah.
and a huge Attitude Era fan. And then I was watching things like XPW, which was a
Yes.
local show, and then
Yes.
ECW, and I liked the more hardcore stuff. And I tried to me and my friends and I would make VHS tapes of sidewalk slamming each other on the actual sidewalk, and and I'm sure we have volumes and volumes of tapes of was doing that stuff, and it kind of got me into like wanting to learn how to fight. And you hear about grappling, and then I think, you know, I walked into an actual jiu-jitsu gym, and then from then I can only focus on one thing at a time. Like I don't have hobbies, I have obsessions, and um, I think wrestling ceased to be an obsession of mine, and then it was taken over by the fight game. And yeah, but I mean, I still, you know, like I get all nostalgic, and I look back on the old wrestling stuff that I was into.
Yeah.
You know, I watch Dark Side of the Ring all the time. I just saw my man David Marquez in the last one. I didn't even know he worked with XPW. It was pretty crazy, you know.
Yeah. Oh, it's.
I called him up and I was like, bro, what the hell, dude?
Oh, and it's funny because a lot of, and I sound like a broken record, but a lot of pro wrestling fans might not like MMA. A lot of MMA fans might not like pro wrestling. But when you talk to fighters, a lot of them love pro wrestling, yourself included, right? And then when you talk to pro wrestlers, look at Goldberg's gloves, look at Vader's gloves, look at Undertaker's later year gloves. Those are all fashions of MMA gloves, right? I mean, Minoru Suzuki and Funaki, you know, basically starting up Pancrase as a shoot fighting organization, UWF. Like you talk about apple not falling far from the tree. MMA pro wrestling are kind of not so distant cousins.
Yeah, man. Well, I always said that MMA is hybrid wrestling.
Yes.
It's not. I mean, definitely, it's not pro wrestling. It's hybrid. You know, freestyle wrestling. But it all the tree comes from the same roots. You know, you can use those same moves that you see in the WWF or WWE, whatever you want to call it. You can really ruin somebody's life with them. You know, it's just a different setup. But an armbar is an armbar.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a joint lock is a joint lock. A choke is a choke. I mean, they definitely do it more theatrically in
Yes.
WWE, hence the entertainment
Right.
part of it. But yeah, man, it was super entertaining when I was a kid, you know, but, you know, kind of look back on it now and it's just like, it's a lot of toxic masculinity and it's, you know,
It might be, you know,
the
but
way that
yeah,
they exploit women and they exploit male anger, you know,
yes.
it's just kind of, it's kind of rough. You know, I've changed my position on a lot of things since last few months. And
last 3 months. Hey, you know what? You know, growth and reaffirmations happen when they happen. So, you know, that's awesome. I mean, either way, it's awesome. It's awesome that you loved it. It's awesome that you no longer have the same affinity to it. So, you know, potato, potato. Shaman Steve says, "Good afternoon, gentlemen. Good afternoon, Shaman Steve. Yeah, glad to have you with us." Now, in terms of, I mean, I'd be remiss not to talk about the gym, right? Obviously, when I started my career, I actually came out with Bosun Wang to uh, interview you and do a promo video for what was Title Boxing, right? And the same location. Unfortunately, things happen. Title Boxing goes astray, but actually rising up from the ashes in the same location, serving the community of Newbury Park, California, and the surrounding. One-on-one boxing sprouts up. So, I mean, divulge as much as you want to it, but you know, going from kind of a player coach to actually this is your skin in the game.
yeah, man. So, you know, I'm a doer. You know what I mean? Which is a good and a bad thing. You know, I don't spend a whole lot of time thinking about how deep the water is before I jump in. You know, and which is, you know, I get things done. I don't talk about it. I do it, but sometimes I think talking about things a little bit more would, in hindsight, serve you a little bit better. But what am I saying? So I'm going off on a tangent here, but basically what happened was I was working for this gym called Title Boxing, and I really needed money. You know what I mean? Like I was driving 25 miles from the Valley to Newbury Park to work for this cardio boxing gym, and like honestly, these people treated me terribly. You know, like I had like the most popular class there, and like
Yeah.
I was a pro fighter, active pro fighter, and the people that took the classes were amazing. You know, the community there is great. I mean, it's why I did what I did. It's why I am where I am. So I love the members. I love the people. But all of a sudden, these people that they don't know shit about boxing. They don't know shit. I mean, and they know less about MMA. It's not an MMA gym. It's a cardio boxing gym. And it's a corporate cardio boxing gym that's attached to this franchise that I guess, every franchise starts off as like, some legit shit, probably like some boxers in a garage, whatever. Then they start a gym, and then they get so successful that victory has defeated them, as Bane would say, because then they go and they open these franchises where people that, they're like, look, you can open a Subway sandwich or you can open a boxing gym. And they're like, well, they look at it like punching bags are easier to hang than, I guess, microwaves. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
I
Right.
don't know why I
Exactly.
got into the business, but this guy gets into the business, not understanding, the difference between a jab and a cross. Doesn't understand the difference. Doesn't understand, the mentality of trainers and how you have to have the right trainers and how you got to do this and how the trainers are honestly the most important thing because that's the product that you're selling to the member. And then, and then they're whatever. Anyway, this guy makes a lot of bad decisions. Shall remain nameless.
Yeah.
Closes the gym within 4 days. Of like doesn't tell anybody. Like kind of tells the trainers like, hey, we're gonna, we're going under 4 days. Boom, there's a note on the door. No more gym, and that was like half my income, which
Yeah.
still wasn't a lot. So I'm stressed out. And one great thing about that program though is that I got to work with people who have Parkinson's disease, and the Parkinson boxing program. Those guys, when you tell them that their gym is closed down, it's not like you tell like a guy that's good, relatively good health. You tell one of those guys, hey man, you're what you do, your Parkinson's boxing is closed. It's not like they can just go down the street and find another place to work out. Like
Right.
it's their therapy, it's their medicine. So one of the people with Parkinson's that was like, it's like really worried about losing their business was their not their business, sorry, their therapy, their workout approached me and said, hey, I'd be interested in investing in this gym with you. In fact, this very gym that just closed down. And I think we had a little bit too many beers, but right there we shook hands, and I went from not having a job to owning a gym. And it's been really rough. I'm not gonna lie, like it's been hard. It's been beautiful. I do what I love, and I'm more proud of myself than I've ever been because this is my dream, and I'm
Right.
living it. But the fact of the matter is, it's like there's things I had no idea what I didn't know. I didn't know what I didn't know, and it was rough. COVID came, and we were doing pretty well. We had a lot of members, and then COVID came, and we lost all our members. And now we're building ourselves back to where we were pre-COVID. But we kind of opened just a year before COVID, so you try to build up, get closed down. You're still paying rent. Those landlords, they want their money. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
matter what happens.
Yeah.
And then you're in a situation where normally right now, like this season everyone knows in the gym, it's a pretty slow season. People aren't like lining the streets to sign up, and people are doing their thing, whatever. And then around January it picks up, and then but the problem is like during the slow seasons, normally you have the high seasons to fund
Right.
your slow season, but we
Right.
didn't get that because of COVID. So it's rough, it's rough, but yeah, I'm still learning. But yeah, it is what it is. It's a great gym. We got a great community, and I think we're gonna be okay. It's just it was definitely a learning experience.
Yeah. No. 100%. And you live and you learn. Like the
Yeah.
adage says. And Christina Mangasser, it says, "What do you both drink to have this much energy? I need to have what you've been drinking." So yeah. What are you drinking, sir?
Just water.
Right on. Yeah, I've got the Costco branded water here. Hopefully Costco will sponsor this. But if they don't, I'm just saying. I'll still Oh, what is at the end of the straw, good sir?
Well, it's just I'm just over this whole patriarchy.
Yeah.
I want to smash it. I'm just tired of toxic masculinity. All these cisgendered privileged people coming through here and just telling me how to think and feel. So I'm trying to rebel against that. This is
Got
also this is also my wife's straw from the bachelorette party.
10 points. I didn't realize it until you pulled it up close to the camera, and I'm glad you did. I am. And does that water have any vodka in it at all?
I'm doing a sober October. So no, unfortunately, it doesn't. It's yeah, it doesn't. Sober October. I haven't had a drink in 23 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I only knew at OMG, says Christina. Now it's Sober October. I'm glib to it, right? I only know it through the virtues of one Joe Rogan, right? And right, but what is the kind of, I guess, foundation of Sober October and why you chose to join this movement?
I drink too much.
Okay, that's cool. I like it. Right
No,
on.
man, here's the thing, man. I don't, look, dude. I don't like, I'm not. Okay, here's my belief. I believe that an addiction is anything that makes you late for work. And drinking hasn't made me late for work yet. I'll tell you what has made me late for work is my energy drink addiction. So I also kicked that during Sober October. I'm having a harder time with the energy drink thing than anything else, honestly. But um, I don't want to be dependent on anything. So it's good to check yourself every once in a while. Like, I don't get falling down drunk on a daily basis. I definitely party on the weekends and stuff. And I need a few cocktails when I get home after work. And I don't want to make excuses, but it's like, yeah, I got pain in my back and my knees and my joints from fighting and stuff like that. And alcohol seems to kind of like relieve the tension and relax me a little bit after a hard day of work and working out, because my job is very physical. But I don't want to be dependent on anything. So it's good to do a Sober October just to show you that you can stop if you want to. And then also it's like, when I was fighting, I'd be able to kind of put the bottle down for a little while and but I don't have, I haven't had any fights coming up, so I have to like check myself, like, dude, just because you don't have an event coming up, like, it's not okay just to live like a glutton for the rest of your life, bro. Like, it's like, even though you don't have a training camp, bro, you need to like eat good and watch the drinking, so that's probably a reason. I just took it. One of my buddies, Nick, is also doing it with me, so it's good to have a support system. And
Yeah.
if we slip up, we owe each other $100
Ooh.
every time we slip up. So I definitely don't want to lose.
Yeah.
I'm a very competitive guy, so I haven't had a drink, man. It's been rough, but not as bad as I thought it was going to be. The really surprising thing is my dependency to energy drinks. I think that's been the hardest thing to kick.
Well, I mean, you yourself as a person are hard to kill, so it's kind of crazy that you had that. But kudos to you for doing it. Christina says, "Way to go!" I have a drink because I've got 8 kids. Shout out to Christina.
Yeah, well, shout out for having 8 kids.
Yeah, yeah. That's the cousin there. That's the wife's first cousin. So yeah, shout out to Christina and all the nephews and nieces that we have in Central California.
God bless you.
Yeah, 100%. Geez. So what happened to the Thor Skanke show? Obviously, you kind of alluded that you're, kind of a one-track mind, and the gym is kind of you taking your time, energy, resources, and what have you. Totally understandable. But that was, I mean, I'm doing this. We had Marcos and I doing Two Guys One Phone, which you were so gracious to be a guest on, all right, for that short-lived deal. And I miss the Thor Skanke show and your accordion and your intro. Holy hell. And the live shows, the fucking live shows.
Well, I got arrested, bro.
Oh, that was legit?
Yeah, that was legit, bro.
I didn't even know.
I don't have the budget to hire a police officer to come through and fucking fake arrest me, dude. No, it started as a prank where I was like beating up Jacoby Powell with a stun gun. And then I pulled a little bit from my backyard wrestling days. I had a razor blade that I gave myself some color. And I mean, it was real, and everyone was freaking out on the live during the scuffle. I got cut, so it looked real, you know. Like, I mean, did you see the episode? Like,
yes, I did. I thought you hired somebody or somebody in your apartment building.
No, I'll run it down for you. So basically, Jacoby, he's a crazy dude. He actually he was on the news because he beat up some robber and
at Defiant.
I tried to. Who the fuck wants to rob that Muay Thai gym? Like, it doesn't make any sense. You know, like you walk into the toughest guys and they obviously don't have any anyway. They have no money in there. I mean, the only thing in there is fists and feet.
Yeah.
But anyway, so he's a pretty cool dude, and he's been on the show before, and I just basically told him to pretend that he's like tired of my accordion playing, so he banged on my door, and then I answered it, and he was less than nice about the noise. So then we got into a fight, and then he became a guest on the show. But I guess the neighbors didn't know we were joking around, or someone that watched the live didn't know we were joking, so they called the cops. And I tried to come out and be like, no, we're just playing, you know, we're just kidding. He's like, then why are you bleeding? And I was like, I don't have a good answer for that. You know, I cut my head with a razor, stupid. You know, like, what do you want? Like, so yeah, so I got arrested. That was one thing, and then we tried to do like a live show with like some porn star dominatrix and stuff, and David Roberts were there. Then I just realized like all I'm doing is the same thing that fucking what's his name, Jason Ellis is doing. You know, I'm like. Like it's the same thing. I'm just like trying to be the same person, bro. And it's like, I'm not a poser, dude. You know, so it's you know, it's hard to find guests. It's hard to come up with content. You know, it was like hard to do every week consistently. Maybe one day I'll just record like 10 or 15 of them, and then I'll just pump them out for the people. But it's not like, it's not, you know, it's not easy, bro. And it's like, I don't want to have a boring show, you know. I don't want to have like, you know, get some guy like, so, you know, a fight, and, you know, it's my third amateur fight, bro. And, you know, I like it and it's fun. Like, what the fuck is that, dude? You know, like, I couldn't do that. And, you know, I don't know.
I know, for the record, I know no one like that.
Yeah, good. Because I know a lot of people like that. They fucking suck. Half of these fucking kids, bro. I don't know. They all want to be like fucking.
I'm gonna whoop that motherfucker's ass. But there's 22 fights on the card, and an amateur, and you're wearing shin guards.
Yeah.
And you also get KO'd in 42 seconds.
And you're wearing a fucking suit to the fucking weigh-in, and you're an amateur, and then you're talking about your after party. It's like, God, what are you doing? You know, like, like, you know, like, you got a T-shirt sponsor and shit, and you're like, you know, I don't know, bro.
Oh, don't forget about that all-important CBD sponsorship.
Yeah, dude, it's fucking Herbalife. You know, it's basically Herbalife. Man, if another person tries to offer me CBD, bro, that shit doesn't work, man. Am I the only one that realizes like there's no benefit, dude? Just smoke some weed, man. Like, it's legal, you know. What are you doing, bro? CBD. What doesn't work? Am I wrong? It's like, take some ibuprofen. We have actual medicine, you know.
I'm gonna plead the fifth because I'm looking for a CBD sponsorship. So CBD MD or our Life CBD, come holla at your boy.
You gotta prove. I'm a skeptic. I'm a natural skeptic when it comes to anything. You gotta prove to me that it works, bro. I'm a guy with actual pain. Come holler at me, okay? And then if your shit works, I'll change course on it. But it's like, I mean, like, what?
You say I find it awesome that you the skeptic, which absolutely right, but also, uh, I mean, you didn't tell the cop like, "Hey, didn't you watch the Secret Lives of fucking Pro Wrestling where they fucking show you how to gig, the masked fucking wrestler and
No,
whatever?" You never saw that, and you don't get
no,
my fucking gimmick, bro. Why am I with
yeah, no,
cops?
they ended up coming in there, and then they realized, like, they pulled all of us out, and they, like, this chick that I was seeing at the time was like scared, bro. She was like crying and shit, and then
I
like,
thought that was all fucking kayfabe.
oh man, no, that was fucking when that was when kayfabe goes wrong, bro. That was bad, dude. And but like, no, they ended up letting me go, bro, because like I was ended up watching it, and they were like, oh, like I was just so happy that the guy that was filming it didn't like accidentally erase it, because it was like,
Yeah.
and like, it was cool. Like, but they found the stun gun, and like, it was like, I got a stern talking to. And it was cool, man.
No, but that's the thing. It's just like, guys like you, guys like Blake Troop and what have you. Like, yes, MMA is amazing, right? When it can be amazing, but there's so much creativity that lies. Like, if you saw Thor Skanke through my eyes, I'm all like, you should be on every show. There should be billboards plastered, with your face and all that. Like, because you got it. You don't have to teach it. When you have it, that's it. You can figure out the rest. You have it.
Exactly, and I think that's kind of contributing to my new found belief system. Because I'm like, I don't understand why I'm not the most famous guy in America, and I'm kind of thinking it's maybe because I had like more conservative views in the past, and like it's kind of hard to break into the industry like that. So, I just kind of took a one. I realized that I was wrong about everything, and I'm just here to smash the patriarchy and just be a comrade to the new world order. And that's where I'm at right now. You know.
Shout out to where you're at. Where you're at. Oh, I knew this was gonna be good. When you're like 12:30, I was like, "Fuck, I'm ready to go," because Thor's gonna be ready to go.
I'm
I
ready.
love it. I fucking love it. But also one of the cool things, in your kind of aspiration to fight it again, you're in a much better place. And not to say that you weren't beforehand in your previous career, but your story, especially when I hear you wanting to fight again, reminds me of the good brother Chris Lieben, right? Where he was pretty down in the depths of where his acclaim came from, right? And now, in the latter part of his career, his unretirement and his run in BKFC was all that much more advantageous because like he has his wife, he has the stability, and there's a certain gal that might have attributed to yours, which I'm like somebody that has like everything but also nothing to lose. That's a scary motherfucker. And like
Yeah.
you said, with your improved fight IQ, I mean, I can't wait to see you fight again.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Getting married was awesome. I found the right woman, and she's definitely contributes to my success. She helps me with my business and everything. So, if you find yourself someone that completes you, I always tell, like, I think, like, the best advice I could give someone is find someone that is strong where you're lacking, and I definitely did that. As far as Chris leaving, I don't want you guys people thinking that I'm like, I did not have the same issues
Oh,
that
no, 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 no. I
guy.
wasn't talking about the
Yeah.
issues. I was
Oh,
talking
yeah,
about
yeah,
in
yeah,
the instances of
yeah.
like leaving the sport and then coming
Coming
back.
back, yeah. I
Yeah,
never, but here's the thing: is like, it's also like I never really left, bro.
right.
Like, my last fight was for Bellator at the Forum,
Yes.
and then I took a little bit of time to focus on my business, but not much, And then Bellator offered me, like, it was a pretty bad fight, bro. Like, it was my fault. I fought at 170, and I did good. I won in the first round, but I took that fight based on the matchup, not because the guy was really my weight class. It's just that he was a big dude, but I knew I could beat him on the floor. and he was an okay boxer, but I took him down and submitted him in the first round, like I knew I would, because I've trained with him before.
Right.
Good guy though, But then I guess the Bellator is like, oh, okay, we have ourselves a guy wants that. So then the next fight they find me like the biggest. Like the guy should be a 185er. Like they send me like a huge 170 for the same amount of money in the same place. And I guess you just take the fight. I guess that's how it works for these companies. I'm used to working with like kind of being the big fish in the smaller pond, where I can be like, nah, I don't like that one. Like, let me get another option, or and like when I said that to them, they were kind of like, all right, fuck you, Then the next thing they came to me with like some other fight, but like on 2 weeks notice. And like, I was like, dude, what is going on here? Like, I did the right things. I did a good post-fight interview. I sold a shitload of tickets. I had an exciting fight which ended in the first round. So I was kind of like almost like a victim mentality for a second, which is never good,
Right.
And so I'm like, all right, fuck it, whatever. There'll be plenty of fights, but they're not. You always have to remember, dude, like you have a small time. Fighting is a privilege, And then COVID hit, and it was just like, that's a wrap for a year on everybody. At least everyone lost a year of their career, So it's not just me; it's a lot of people. So I guess you could say it's like a return or whatever. If I do fight again, but I never really intentionally stepped away. It was just kind of like shit just happened, like kind of like circumstances, But I definitely I miss it. I miss fighting, man. I think it's the ultimate competition. It's the ultimate test of yourself. It's an amazing feeling. Even losing is a good feeling. Just having it. That's definitely not as good as winning though. But I love it, man. I just love being in there, and I want to do it again.
I love it. Which I want to ask you, do you have a favorite moment? And this could be not maybe a favorite fight, but also like training up to the fight with Marcos Bonilla, who, you're a bit of a mentor for him in his early career, and still to this day. But in terms of, he had these great stories of you helping him cut weight along with Daniel Hernandez, and at the old Defiant gym right off the 5 freeway in Burbank. So do you have any of those like memories where like that's why I want to get back to it?
Yeah, I taught Marcos everything he knows. I'm still teaching him to this day. I think he owes me a lot, and I'm surprised I don't get a check from him every month, but it's fine. My favorite moments, man, I got so many, dude, but dude, I think my favorite moment is I was on like a 3-fight losing streak, bro. You know what I mean? Like I was on like when I first started fighting, there was no amateurs. Like I just kind of jumped in. I went pro, and like I wasn't very good. I'm not gonna lie. Like I didn't have many skills. I was just kind of strong game, and I just wanted to be there. And I was basically getting set up as like a stepping stone. Like I fought BJ Penn's jiu-jitsu coach at one point, and I fought like just guys that were like much more experienced. So I was losing, and then I started doing this thing called Long Beach Fight Night, and I was very close. Like I had one fight which was amazing. Like I kicked the dude Anderson. So before when Anderson did that front snap kick, and like I did that before Anderson, and like that's probably one of my favorite moments. I was in this like completely quiet arena, and we were having like a almost like it wasn't a great fight. It was like a grappling match. Like he was trying to take me down. I'd sprawled, and I tried to take him down. And at one point, I just throw that kick, and you just hear like it was just deafening, and the guy drops. And then Larry Landless, who to me is the worst. I like the guy as a person, but I just think he's not the best ref, or he wasn't at one point. Maybe he's better now. But he like stops me, and then he goes, go ahead. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, all right. And I jump on him, and then the guy ends up submitting me. But I'm going to tell you something, man. Like, I lost that fight, but that pop that I got from that noise,
Yeah.
people going crazy, I got addicted to it. I got hooked on it, and it changed my whole career, you know. And then I started just kind of coming out, throwing caution to the wind, not really focusing too much on my wrestling, and a lot more striking and being more like just. And I went on like a sick winning streak. I think I won like 6 fights in a row, like right after that, boom, boom, boom. And I was knocking people out, you know, shutting them down, TKOing them, smashing them. And so I honestly think that loss was like probably one of my favorite moments. Like it was just, it's like, I don't know. It's like when a little boy finally like discovers his dick. Like, I think that's what happened.
Yes, no, 100%. You mentioned the pop, man. That's the drug. That's what keeps and you could be sober, you could, not touch weed and alcohol or whatever.
Yeah.
Once you get that, I mean, there's even some, organizations or whatever where there's a charismatic leader, and that charismatic leader is addicted to the pop as much as the people, the masses are addicted to the enigmatic personality.
Yeah. I mean, I discovered I had the power, and I discovered like you can't teach power, you know, I either have it or you don't. So I discovered I had the power to knock people out, and I discovered that I really love the roar of the crowd. You know, it's not just enough to go out there and win. Like I want to do something, and it really influenced my fighting style after that. I mean, if you watch me fight, like I don't fight not to lose.
Right.
You know, I fight, and I think that's why, you know, I do have pretty strong fan bases, because they know that, you know, if you come see a Thor Skanke fight, like he's gonna die trying, you know.
Yeah.
That's what I want to be remembered for. So yeah, I think that's probably one of my favorite moments. It came from a loss.
I like it, and so to some people that's where you kind of like, if you win with like shitty technique, but you just get somebody on the chin, or what have you, you don't really learn from it. But then and your ego goes up, but then your coach is like, oh, what the fuck, you didn't follow the game plan or whatever the hell. So yeah, sometimes losses, even at life, like it's what knocks you down, and what makes you get back up is really what cements your legacy.
Yeah, totally. You know, yeah, I totally get that, man. Like my coach, it took a while too, man, before I got to the point where I could like sit and like really listen to what my coach was saying and stuff, because I got too hooked on the crowd, you know, that I'd be just trying to throw bombs and stuff, and it would drive my coach crazy until Gabe Rudiger, you know,
Yeah.
the guy's an amazing coach, and he finally got me to like chill and listen, and really appreciate that. You know, there's not a lot of like, I'm like pretty alpha, you know, so it's like kind of hard for me to listen to certain people. I'm not alpha anymore. I'm actually
Beta.
I want everyone to know I'm super beta, and
Yeah.
I'm just, you know, I'm doing my part to contribute to smashing the patriarchy. But when I was, you know, it'd be hard for me to listen and just, I'm gonna do my thing my way, brother, you know, and you know, I'm effing this bitch and you're just holding the camera. Remember that, you know, that's the way I used to look at it. And I don't look at it like that anymore. You know, I have good coaches that put you in the right direction.
Yeah, and if anybody would know, it would be Gabe Rudiger. Shout out to Gabe Rudiger. But, he's that guy, and what he's done with his life, like, post UFC tenure, world champion, world traveled, all that jazz. And, like him just being content with his daughters and his lovely wife. And, we went to his birthday party a few years back at the arcade and just fucking chilled. And you wouldn't think that he'd be that guy, if you saw him, 10, 15 years ago.
He's an asshole. Like, he's like, don't get it twisted. He's not the nicest guy in the world, man. Like, I think it's a special person to get along with Gabe. I think I'm one of those people, I love Gabe, but he's, he doesn't take shit from anybody, and he'll tell you exactly what he's thinking with no filter. And it's he's the asshole, my asshole, but he's definitely, yeah, yeah, dude. I don't, I'm just gonna be real with you guys. It's just you have to. He'll punch you.
Yeah,
You say some shit you don't like, he'll fucking punch you. He's a real one.
I've
Uh,
heard. I've heard.
he's a real one. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh no. But shout out to him. I actually should shoot him a text, man. I want to see how the fuck he's doing.
I gotta shoot him a text, man. I haven't seen him forever. I love that guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
You know,
you know,
time goes by pretty fast, man. And like before you realize there's just so much stuff going on, and then you look back and you're like, damn, dude, I haven't talked to this person or that person in a minute. And like, some
mhm,
people that like really help change your life and stuff.
right?
It's you know, and then it's just like an avalanche, man. You're just like spending too much time not talking to these people, and you feel guilty, and then you don't reach out. And don't do that. If you think about when someone crosses your mind, just hit them up. Just say hi, say checking in.
Yeah, no, 100%. Uh, Man, I love that you said that because there's actually a couple people that I wanted to do and I hesitated, and over the last year they unfortunately passed away. So
Very sad.
yeah, no, I mean,
Sorry.
yeah, no, thank you, but it's just time is of the essence. But sometimes time, when we're kind of set phasers the sun and the goal, like I got to get my gym out of the doldrums and I just got married and
Yeah.
all of that stuff. Like, those are good things, but they can kind of deter you from like the circle, right? The circle that you kind of were born from, the circle becomes what you
Yeah.
basically created around you.
Absolutely, man. Um, when we're young, or our friends are out of proximity.
Hmm.
And then as we get older, we make friends out of convenience, and it is what it is. But just yeah, make sure time is short, man.
Yeah.
Life goes by quickly, bro. And just don't wait until they're dead to give them flowers if you can.
Hell yes, brother. Which, speaking of circles and community, there have been a lot of people who have attributed to your success or just where you are now. Because you said that this is the happiest and most fulfilled that you've been in your life. And yes, things could be better and what have you, but still, there are people that have kind of ushered you into where you are now. So take as long as you need. Let's get some shout outs out of the way.
Yeah. Just talking right now, just thinking about JJ Buckner, his father, man, um, adopted father, huge influence and really changed my life in a lot of ways. Like, growing up, um, you know, I kind of, got in trouble. I did stupid things when I was in my early 20s. I kind of like got in trouble with the law and you know, almost ruined my life at a young age, just being an idiot, just a dumb kid, stupid kid. And, pretty much the only opportunity I had to make some money, it like kind of was looking like fighting. But the one thing about me is that, I'm a hustler. I work super hard, and I feel like I can talk to anybody. And that's what I did. I see someone in the gym, and maybe no one's talking to me, go up and just talk to them. And, I always said, my superpower is I have amazing people around me. That's my superpower. Like God just puts amazing people in my life that I learn from, and I meet these self-made people that kind of mentored me and showed me like, this is how I did it. And, this is what's really important. Like, stop looking at this and that. Like, what's really important is this, and use your focus on this. And I don't want to get into exactly what it is, because it's a whole other, I could write a book about it, and I probably should. But, Chris is one of those guys that just showed me like it's not about where you're from. He came from humble beginnings. It's where you're going, and he built an empire. And he really motivated me to be a better person. And then of course, like Gabe Rudiger, amazing coach that like really resurrected my career. You know, um, amazing dude. Uh, Daniel Hernandez from Defiant. Man, I'm gonna forget people, man. Like he's super dope striking coach. Help me out. Bernie Hapalian, rest in peace, man. You know, I won a King of the Cage title because of that guy, dude. Just, you know, um, Patrick King Jiu-Jitsu, Edwin Najmi, Hamilo Baral. You know, I love those guys, man. They're amazing. They're making my jiu-jitsu game super strong. Um, you know, guys at House of Champions, Mark Parra and Travis Garlitz and those guys. There's too many, man. I'm like, you know, I'm gonna like, you know, just too many. But like, you know, those guys right there, I think they're good for now. Like, you know, and of course, all my training partners and stuff. You know, God bless them wherever they are, and you know, I hope they know that they always got a friend in me if they need anything. You know, I'm always here for them.
I love it. I love it. And, I love that you mentioned, the great Bernie Hopolian, because he's one of the people that I wanted to reach out to. And I hesitated, stutter step, got distracted with the YouTube video rather than sending a text. And, maybe that's the thing that might have lifted him up. I don't know.
No,
It's just,
I don't, no, don't say that. Yeah, that's, you know, he's a very strong guy.
yeah.
And, you know, he has his demons, and nobody could have helped him. Um, yeah, that's all I want to say about that. I just, you know, I don't think anybody could have helped him. He knew what he was, a success story until he wasn't, you know.
Right.
And yeah, that's the thing about that disease, man. You
Yeah.
know, they choose their addiction over anything and anybody, bro. And you know, don't don't beat yourself up, man.
I
You
appreciate it.
know, because I felt the same way for a second, and I'm just like, you know, I don't know how many people I've lost to drug addiction. Um, it's I just, you know, don't do it. You know,
Yeah.
don't fuck with the drugs, man, because you're not stronger than Bernie was.
Right. Exactly.
It hurt if it killed him. It's gonna kill you, and not only is
Hmm.
it gonna kill you, but it's gonna hurt the whole time it does.
Hmm.
And you know, all you're gonna do is just disappoint all your loved ones, and that's it.
Wow, man. I mean, it's I don't know if it's a epiphany or just the year or what have you, but like you're different. You're very, and you've always been pretty introspective, but this is a new kind of level of like understanding of yourself, your abilities, and what you mean to the world. And I I need more of that in my life. I think everybody does, because I think the beauty, like the suffering, the everything that loss and all this, what have you, has kind of sculpted the person that you're most proud of. And I'm gonna go on record, I'm proud of you too, bro. Like
Thanks, brother.
this, yeah, man. It's I mean, it's always a pleasure to talk to you, but like this is different. This is, you're on some like next level shit. That third eye is absolutely open, so I fucking just appreciate you, what you've done every time, dude. Like starting out, I would just have my phone and you would fucking cut a money fucking promo. Like you've always believed in me. Two guys, one phone. You were there. Like we put in a call, like doing this, So I just thank you for being you, dude.
Appreciate it, man. If you ever need anything, just let me know, bro. I'm always a phone call away, and that goes to anybody, man. You know, just if I can, you know, anybody in my community, if I can do anything, I will, you know. And yeah, that's it, man. That's community. That's life, bro. You know, all we are, all we got, and you know, uh, it's not going to work if we don't have this mentality. You know, that's you are a product of your environment, man.
Yeah.
Your environment is also a product of you, dude. So
Yes.
you know,
That's
if you want to change, you want things to get better, you have to be the change. And you know, I don't want to think like I don't want to sound like what's the damn word I'm searching for? Like I don't want to be like ignorant and think that I'm doing more. You know, I'm doing something astounding or
right.
really helping out. I mean, I'm not. I'm just saying like. If you need some help, I'm here. You know, because I want the same thing in return from people. You
Yes.
know, It's it is what it is.
I can't think of a better way to close this out. Thor, you've been amazing. And for people who want to get in contact with you or learn more about the gym, which I have linked in the description of this very podcast, but where can people find you on the interwebs?
Um, so we're Thor818 on Instagram, and then there's my gym's Instagram page, which is 101 Boxing Club. And I don't really do Facebook anymore because it just always turned into political debates that I don't really want to have anymore. I'm just tired of it. It's just I spend too much energy and people asking me for sources, and then by the time it's just ridiculous. By the time you fact check all your stuff, and then I realized I spent the whole day trying to prove a point to someone that mine isn't going to change anyway. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't do Facebook. I think Facebook is just for like political discussion and haters, you know. So I do Instagram. Instagram is a pretty place. So you don't even need to, Kanye West is one of my favorite people. And, I noticed something about Kanye is he doesn't post a caption on any of his pictures.
Yeah.
Because a picture's worth 1,000 words. And, if you're going to get provoked by a picture, then God help you,
Yeah. Well, I've taken a similar approach, but that is to memes, or it's just
Yeah.
people getting dumped on their head to whatever
Yeah.
music I see fits. So there's that. I'm messed up. I love people getting slammed on their head, but I would be crying in a fetal position if it happened to me. Again, maybe that's toxic masculinity that you were talking about. Maybe that.
Gotta stay away from it, man.
Gotta exit, man.
Yeah,
But Thor, thank you for joining us, and thank you guys for joining us here at According to Woods. And if you haven't already done so, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to the According to Woods podcast on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. I mean, Thor, you're subscribed to the podcast, aren't you?
absolutely.
Hell yes. So be like Thor, be like me, and subscribe to the podcast. But if you don't believe me, you don't believe Thor, and I don't know why you wouldn't, here's Zeta Zang.
Hey, this is Zeta Zhang. Make sure you subscribe to According